in the service industry. It is an opportunity for folks with a packaged good that has a URL, a barcode, and packaging already. And if you can prove that you've already scaled the product, that would be a great fit as well. So to show that you are growing, you have a digital marketing presence, your product is solving a need, and consumers are interested in buying it. Really, it'll take you about 5 to 10 minutes to apply. It's all at nationalace.org. We are accepting applications through next week, and we would love to see you apply. So if you have a product that is a packaged good, if you can, in the chat to everyone, put in the emoji of the hand up like this. So I'll do it in the chat so you see what it looks like. But if you have a packaged good, engage in the chat that way. And we would love to see your application come through this week. I'm also going to put my email in the chat if you have questions or just need a little bit of more clarity around this opportunity. But we have room for 30 people to go and pitch at this Los Angeles event. It's a huge opportunity where you can meet directly with folks that could change your life and your business. So we hope that this opportunity is open for and speaks to some of you. And if you don't have that consumer packaged good, right, but you know someone who does, please share this opportunity with them. This is a huge opportunity. So that is all that I have on the National ACE side of things. Wanted to send it over to John with Pyramid Systems, who will be kicking off session 2 of this AI accelerator. Nice to see you, John.
Thank you, Emily. That sounds like an exciting opportunity. I kind of wish I had a product. I would love to fly out and pitch a product. So let me share my screen real fast. I'm going to take it over and bear with me here. Okay, you cannot share the screen. So Chian, please stop sharing your screen. In the meantime, I'll introduce myself. I'm John Sabansky. I'm a vice president at Pyramid Systems. And yeah, today we're going to talk about how we could use artificial intelligence for marketing when you're a small business owner. So just, again, bear with me. You know, I am a VP of AI, and yet the act of sharing a screen kind of fuddles me sometimes. All right, so why don't I see?
While
I
John
don't.
gets that up,
Yeah.
why don't you guys put in the chat again where you're joining us from? So city and state, and then which industry you work in as well. So today we'll be going over a lot of things, including if you did your homework from last week. And we'll also have a demo for you with Max a little bit later. So while we wait for John to get the screen up, engage in the chat, put in your city, your state, and then what industry you're in. So I'll give you an example by filling it out myself. And John, I think we're ready.
Awesome. All right, thanks. Yeah, I would love to hear that. Next slide, please, Jihan. Okay, so again, I'm John Sabansky. I work at Pyramid Systems. I've been in technology, operations research, models, simulation, artificial intelligence for about 25 years now. And then also Max Bayomi, he's a principal architect here. He's a wonderful guy, very gregarious, entertaining presenter. We're going to be doing the most of the speaking on this side. Oh, and I get to see everyone's chat. That's cool. Manufacturing in New Jersey, public relations. Yeah, and again, I was born and raised in Long Island, New York. If anyone's from Long Island, from Strong Island, just put in the chat. I would love to make new friends. Okay, John, you could go to the next slide, please. All right, so this is kind of fun. We have a real-time live polling software. It's online, so just take out your phone, scan the QR code, and then answer the question. What opportunities do you see in your business? I'm going to do it myself too. Oh, we lost the QR code there, Jihan.
Yeah, I'm sharing this on time. Result.
So again, do you want to? Is it for efficiency? Is it for logistics? Is it for marketing? Is it for looking at risk analysis if you're insurance, for example, right? Financial analytics, claims management, there's a whole bunch of stuff. And so with the power of data analytics, I don't know if you're familiar with this term, you'll see what's known as a word cloud. And the more popular a word, the bigger it gets. So again, we have marketing, automation. I love that. I love that. I wonder what industries we have where we could automate on the call. Content generation, of course, right? Of course. Research, again, excellent sales. And it looks like we have 50 people answering it. That's great. And fun. Artificial intelligence can be fun. So thank you for that. With this in mind, I'll inform how I talk for the rest of the presentation. Gian, please. Oh, we got a heart too. That's great. Let's go to the next slide. All right, we had a smash hit first session, really exciting, really fun, and we did have some questions. So we did our homework and we answered the questions. The first question everyone said, and we'll do a deep dive in this presentation, what can I use? I'm a small business owner. What can I use? And we'll get into that. But for the most part, ChatGPT, Grok, Midjourney, all the big ones you know and love, Claude, they'll all help you with your efforts. The best tool for image generation, well, DALL-E 3 sounds like Wally. Canva, Midjourney, $10 a month. It's worth it. I'm going to actually demonstrate Midjourney. It's a quick demo. Beautiful stuff. And then also Grok. So the platform formerly known as Twitter, they trained their own model. They spent probably $80-90 million, a farm of GPUs to train their own large language model. But they also could do stable diffusion and create images. So Grok as well. If you pay for X, you get Grok. And it's excellent. I use Grok pretty much exclusively. I find it superior. What should I do if the AI tool, such as ChatGPT, does not calculate math correctly? So here's the interesting thing. ChatGPT, Claude, Grok, they all base themselves on a large language model. You would not typically use, you can use it, but you really, it's not the best tool for mathematical analysis. Honestly, Microsoft Excel, Google Sheets, if you have a Gmail, you get it for free. This sort of structured data analysis in your typical data frame or table, that would be best suited. But if you really want to use Grok or one of the large language models, just try playing with the data. You could normalize it, right? Make sure everything's a number between 0 and 1. You could standardize it. You could look to reduce some of the features. There's a lot of things you could do, but I would not recommend it as your first tool of choice. Okay, next slide. Oh, so somebody had a really good question. I gave an answer, and it turns out I gave the right answer. So pat myself on the back there. Generated AI copyrights. So if you create something using ChatGPT, they don't have, this is legalese, they don't have human authorship. So you can't copyright, you yourself cannot copyright the output of an artificial intelligence picture. However, if you use Midjourney or one of the stable diffusion-based image generation tools, you can't use proprietary figures in it. Now, by default, they shouldn't let you. So if you say, hey, I really love William Shatner. I would love to have him in a Star Trek uniform from the 60s eating at my submarine shop. It shouldn't let you do it. But if it does, that's not really something you could do. That's known as copyright infringement because you're using a character. So for example, Mickey Mouse, you couldn't put Mickey Mouse in there. So again, check with your lawyer, but just be careful, be smart, just like you wouldn't use a picture of, let's say, these are all nerd references, Sonic the Hedgehog at your local flower shop. You really can't use artificial intelligence as a loophole. All right, so Chihan, let me get the screen. I'm going to try again. I did see my web browser in my list of allowed apps to share. So I'm going to share my screen. Let's see if I could just share the entire window.
Rita
Brave tab.
also asked a question in the chat. Rita asked, what if you own the copyright to characters you have created?
Congratulations. That impresses me. I love the fact that you have the creativity to create your own characters and you got the copyright. That should not be in one of the online artificial intelligence tools. So if you generate art and you say, let's say, Rita's race car, if that's your copyrighted character, it shouldn't generate it. If it does, of course, you could use it. Additionally, some of the tools like Photoshop, I'm getting pretty advanced here, but Photoshop allows you to enhance pictures. So if you already have clip art of your character, you could absolutely use AI to make it look better, make it look 3D, along those lines. So I hope that answers your question. Excellent. All right. So how do I use this, right? Let's say you're coming in green. Again, I apologize for the experts in the audience. We had some people asking me about quantum physics and quantum models last week, and I got a chuckle out of that. So that's awesome. But you just go to ChatGPT. You can log in with Google. You can log in to Facebook. You don't even have to log in. You could go to Claude. You could go to Grok, and you get this known as a chat. That's the name, ChatGPT. So let's say I'm going to use the example of a flower shop. I have a flower shop. Um, recommend an Insta campaign to bring in foot traffic. You hit return, and it'll give you an answer. Again, pretty quick. So just come up with these great ideas, right? Snap at the shop giveaway. So in your flower store, for example, you could have a really cool wall where people would be encouraged to Instagram and then tag you. So that's one way to do it. Another one is holiday events, build your own bouquet bar, limited edition floral drink. Do the same for a bakery. For your bakery, it'll give you some ideas. Again, same idea there, but you could do a secret menu challenge. That's pretty exciting. You could have bread of the week. You could have, biggest bread of the week, just something that gets people excited and interesting, kind of clickbaity. And then once you have your Instagram posts, you could ask, when is the best time and best day of the week to post on Instagram for my bagel shop to increase foot traffic. And right there's your answer. So between 7 and 9, 11 and 1 during lunch, people work hard, but they might have free time in the morning to look at Instagram. They might have free time at lunch and weekends. So you could do your own searches. Now I'm going to share another tab. Any questions here though? I don't want to go too fast.
One question came in from
Yeah,
Michelle. This may just be an opinion though. Which one is better, Claude or ChatGPT?
I will give my opinion. I prefer Grok. Chat, but they're all pretty much the same. So if you ask me, do you like Windows or Macintosh or Linux better? Pretty much the same thing. Like I said, they all cost an investment in the 8-figure range to train them. They're all excellent. But that's a really good question. Thank you. Would you be able to share a link to this sample chat? Let me try that. I've never done that. Let me try that real fast. Share. Okay. I'm going to create a link right now. Copied it. Just make sure there was anything personal in the beginning of this. Nope, it's good. All right, so let me paste that in there. I am now pasting it in. Again, I'm sorry for this, a little slow. There you go. Enjoy. So I'm going to share. This is Midjourney, and here's a fun example. Let's say that the branding of your store, you have a sneaker store, and all your branding and marketing uses the color orange, right? So you could quickly say, create a picture. Can you see the tab, first of all? Create pictures that show cool, hip people wearing orange sneakers in a cool city street outdoors. And again, you have to pay for Midjourney, so $10 a month, but it's kind of cool what it can do. I just while that's going, if you see below, oh, here we go. Yeah, so that looks like some Dunks, some Vans, some Chucks in a cool street. So this is something you could just take, post on Instagram, and then maybe have some other copy around it. Were you able to see the screen? Okay, good.
We can see it. I was going to ask, so you said
Yeah,
that characters are copyrighted, but something like a pair of Nikes isn't, right? As long as you don't have like the swoosh, or how does that work with a small business?
that's exactly it. Yeah. I would say logos and brands are trademarks, but the shoe, if it kind of looks like Chuck's, I think you're fine. But again, I would recommend checking with legal. In that case, it looks good. I could have done the same thing for bread, right? If you have purple branding, you could say, I want everybody eating bread, having the time of their life on the street, wearing a red shirt. Cool. And just so I would definitely recommend social media. You can look at the two services I just recommended for advice, and then just try AI, artificial intelligence generated pictures to get the ball rolling. But then from there, you might want to try posting yourself. And I think, Megan, she's our marketing expert. She obviously would be the one to speak to this. But in general, social media, they appreciate authenticity. So you don't have to be super charismatic or gregarious. If you're authentic, like for example, I'm from Long Island. So if I owned a bagel shop in Long Island, I would find the most charismatic or the most Long Island customer or person who works and makes the bagels and just get them to talk about it. And then also you could try to get some of your customers excited about posting and tagging you by saying, hey, you get free coffee for a year if you post, tag us, and it gets more than 1,000 likes. Just some ideas there. But let's move back to the slides. Gian, if you don't mind, oh, do I need to stop sharing? I don't. Gian, if you don't mind, can you put the PowerPoint back? It won't let me share my PowerPoint. Excellent. Again, I just showed you two tools. Those are the easiest tools to use, the easiest tools to get started with. So again, Pareto principle, 20% of the effort will yield 80% of the results if you use those two. However, for domain-specific tools, we have some recommendations here. Again, those large language models, your Claude, your ChatGPT, your Grok, you could use those and ask, okay, I'm in financial analytics. What tools should I use? So they would recommend Kensho. If you're in claims management, try Clara. If you do credit risk, try Zest AI. If you're in retail, obviously Shopify, right? They have plugins for artificial intelligence. That's a premier solution for small business owners. You could use Wix. If you do inventory, again, that's sneakers. If you're a sneakerhead, look at Zoho and Clevo for online stores. Again, those are just some examples. Any questions here? If you want any other questions, Margin Edge, right? If you want to tune your spend, if you own a restaurant, did I buy enough onions? Did I buy too many onions? Did I over pour the drinks? Kind of like that bar rescue type of technology. Look at Margin Edge. Again, I'm mentioning these. None of these are affiliates. We're not getting any referrals for them. So what is the tool for manufacturing? Let me get back to you on that. I do not know one off the top of my head, but we'll have somebody in the background looking at it. Cool. Oh, and so one other point, whenever you post something on Instagram, it's a good idea to stick your logo in the corner or as one of the images. Excellent. We could go to the next slide. So this is an interesting title, right? What marketing roles do you think are most at risk due to AI? Another way to read this title, again, this is one of those scientific surveys that cost thousands of dollars to figure out. I guess, how could I use AI, right? If they're at risk, then that's something I could use for my small business. Content writers, obviously, generative AI. Email marketing, not only creating the content, but also figuring out the best way to send it to maximize engagement. Graphic designers, again, I just showed Midjourney. Generalist SEO, search engine optimization. Google tries very hard to stop SEO, but people figure out ways to get it and boost their results up. Again, you could just use paid AdWords for that. And down the list. So that's that. Next slide, please. All right, so this is a little fun. We got a lot of questions because I said, hey, an easy way to implement AI would be to put a chatbot on your website. Unfortunately, I gave a very, very technical answer, and I apologize for that. However, we've done some research, and if you have a website, um, if you use Wix, if you use Squarespace, GoDaddy, yeah, let's talk about that. Let's take a poll. I'd like to see. So again, use that QR code. If you have a website, select which platform you use. And we lost the QR code there. There we go.
And if you're typing in others after you vote, if you want to put what that other website is in the chat. And then a question did come in. I don't know if you saw that one from Aaron, John, saying, what is a tool for manufacturing?
Yes, I saw that. But I don't have an answer right now. I apologize.
There's another question in the chat. What about AI audio tools when it comes to trademarking AI generated images? Is it possible to use an AI to generate a voiceover, a female voice repeating a business slogan, for example? And if so, can a business trademark that AI generated voiceover, sample, or pitch?
Yeah, so Google just released something called Network LM, right? And it allows you to kind of upload any documents that capture your business or your product, even if it's proprietary, put it into, just drag it into the screen, and then it will create a 45-minute podcast for you automatically. So that's a really cool tool. Again, if you have a Gmail account, you could try it out. It's called Google LM, like I'm sorry, like language model. So check that out.
And it looks like not everyone has done the poll yet, so keep filling it out. I just put it in the chat as well if you're on your phone and you can't scan it. But some of the other websites that are being used is Shopify.
Excellent. Yeah.
Anyone else? What websites are you guys using instead of Wix or WordPress? Okay, because we have 8 for WordPress, 4 for Wix,
Squarespace. Yeah. Squarespace.
Squarespace,
Nice.
nice. WordPress is coming out ahead though, even
Mhm.
with all the others. Let's see.
Cool. So the manufacturing question, if you wouldn't mind clarifying, in general, if you're doing some sort of robotics where you're manufacturing hardware or product and need to look for quality control or inspection, for example, 2 solutions. I don't know the price of these, but Sight Machines, for example, shows state of the art. It uses a vision model to look for defects, VO Robotics. And again, so this is near and dear to my heart. I come from operations research. I did a lot around predictive maintenance, reliability, availability. I used traditional closed form models, but artificial intelligence is starting to break through with uptake. And then, of course, IBM has a solution. You can also use, if you're into PowerPoint, there's a alternative called Visme that will allow you to generate AI as well. Great. Well, that's awesome. I love that people have websites. It's very important these days. Just social media, have it linked back, kind of get that sales funnel going back. I see some more chats, but Chan, would you mind putting the slides back one more time? Okay, so Squarespace, WordPress, GoDaddy, if you're using S3 like I use for my personal website, all of these, most of the major ones and all the ones I listed have at least a plugin to quickly and easily integrate a chatbot. If you don't have a website, Wix is an easy way to greenfield it. That's just a fancy term to say start from scratch. But we're going to show Wix. Again, same workflow for WordPress, for Squarespace, GoDaddy. You just have to use their plugin. It's the same idea of concept of you click items from a menu. So I'm going to hand it over to Max. Again, he's our principal architect. Great guy. Loves sci-fi, comic books, and fantasy, just like I do. So we talk a lot about that. But he's going to demo it. So again, don't get too caught up that this is Wix focused. It's the same workflow for other products. And we just want to demonstrate the takeaway here is not, hey, go out and buy Wix, but rather, hey, look how easy it is to do with modern tools. And again, we picked Wix as the example. So Emily, did you have anything you wanted to say? Otherwise, I will hand it over to Max.
We're good. Max, we're
Awesome.
ready for you.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you, John, for that wonderful introduction. So my name, as John mentioned, is Max Bayumi. I'm a principal architect of Pyramid Systems. And today I'm going to introduce you to a great way to add AI chat functionality to your website without any need for development experience. Now, this is important because not everybody has development experience, so it's always good to be able to do things on the fly. So today, we will show you two low-cost, low or no-code options available. The first is Wix, which is helpful if you don't have a web presence or web portal yet. The second is Tidio, which allows you to add a chatbot to your existing site with low effort. Unfortunately, you may need a little bit of web page HTML coding there, and that's why I mentioned low code. But we'll try to get through, and hopefully I'll be able to show you both of those ideas. So if you guys can see my screen, is my screen visible right now?
Yes, we can see it.
Awesome. All right, great. So, here what I have is I'm logged into my Wix account and I created a fake demo site called Max's Mustard Eats. It's an Egyptian food restaurant, and I built just a quick demo on how a restaurant could utilize the capabilities within Wix. And Wix really does offer some amazing functionality just through its subscription. One of the major things is AI tools, and through AI tools, you can do content generation for your site. You can do create whole sections. You can even create this logo, for example. This logo was AI generated. A lot of the images, a lot of the work that's done can be automatically generated. I actually tried one example where I literally just created the entire site from scratch using AI in Wix, and it gave me a very viable site. So that's one of the things that's very, very helpful. Alternatively on this as well is you can work on the mobile site and the desktop site, so I can work on both. But going back to this site, after creating the site, I wanted to add a chatbot. And what I did was I opened up the apps section, and it opened up the app market section. And all I did was type in chat, and it gave me the Wix AI site chat. Excuse me. And basically what this is a chat bot that is free to use and free to add to your web page. And once you choose it, you can place it pretty much anywhere on your site. Once you click on it, you can change its settings, you can change its layout, you can do customizations to it, you can even give it a name. I called mine Kushari, which is the Egyptian national dish. So it would be a little relatable to somebody visiting the site. I can change the design for it. And there's a lot of help that's available for it. With the basic free version of the of the chatbot, you get about 10 chat sessions per month, which is not a lot, but it's a good start. But then once you have that and you can manage it, you can increase your quota and you can upgrade the plans to go for 100 conversations, 250 conversations, 1,000 conversations, and each one is a different subscription. So this is also very low cost and efficient for you to really scale how big you want the chatbot to be. You can change the setting on this. So with the settings, I can keep the chatbot on 24/7 if I want anyone visiting my site anytime to get answers, or I could set the custom hours to the working hours of the restaurant. So I don't want the chatbot to work if outside of an hour before or an hour after the restaurant closes. I can have the chatbot collect visitor information or just answer questions or do both. I can create a welcome message for people to see when the chatbot opens. And I can also uh, specify which fields for the chatbot to request when they're asking the person to join. Once I've done the settings and the quota, I can then train my my chatbot. Um, and the chatbot automatically picks up everything on your site because it's built into Wix. So it has direct access to your site. And it's a very conservative chatbot. It will only give you information about your site. And that's what it's trained for. But when it first starts, it is going to answer whatever it can find on whatever information you have on your site. So it's important to train it. Training it is as easy as teaching someone to speak using specific etiquette. So for me, I wanted to prevent anyone from talking about certain topics in my chatbot. So I said, if you have any topics about politics, sex, competitors, terror, rude words, please don't answer. And I don't want you to engage with any of these people. But if somebody is asking what this site is about, basically tell them what menu items the site offers. So when a visitor asks about food, tell them what menu items the site offers. It's literally that simple to tell it what you want it to do, and it will automatically understand and train itself for that. I talked about allergy. When visitors ask about allergy information, tell the visitor about our allergy information. All of that works. And then before you actually set it to live, you can test your chatbot. So I asked it, who is Max? Who am I? And it gave me an answer of Max is the founder, head chef, and CEO, an Egyptian restaurant, and so on. And it gave me a link to the About page. I asked it about working hours. Working hours are this. I asked it about what can I order? And it answered, these are the different dishes, but you can also find everything on the online orders. What about the menu item? Same thing. So it really does, you can test it as much as you want here, and you can just check to see if it's conservative enough or if it's liberal enough to really talk about the topics you want for your site, or you can modify your training as much as you can. Before I show you the end result, I also want to visit the dashboard, which lets me control and monitor everything there is on the site. It can monitor the payments. It can monitor the payment page, the sales, all the sales, the inventory, all my restaurant menu items. I can monitor the inbox for when somebody contacts me through the website. Pretty much, and it can handle marketing and analytics. Pretty much everything that you need to do through your site can be done through the Wix dashboard. Now, enough about Wix. Now I'm going to show you what this site really looks like in the end. So this is the site I prepared earlier in a classic fashion of cooking shows. This is what it looks like. And when I click Start Now, it goes to our About Us page. Meet the team, me and my twin brother, who doesn't really exist. And then you could also go to the reservations page. and online orders, and finally, the menu for the restaurant here. And of course, I have my Kushari assistant right here. He starts with a welcome message, and then I asked it, what can I order on this site? And it told me that I could order appetizers, mains, desserts, online orders. And then I asked it, where is the restaurant located? It is located in Nowhere, VA. We focused on providing authentic Egyptian and so on. What are the operating hours of Max Musri Eats? And hopefully it should tell us that, oh, well, it didn't have any specific information. I guess I need to go back and train it some more. But the general idea is it should work off of the training that did. Maybe I need to train it a little bit more. But what is kosheri? If I'm asking about a specific food, and it will
So,
give me the information. Yes, go
so
ahead,
Mac,
Sean.
we have two questions. Number one, can you paste the link to your restaurant in the chat?
Sure, I can do that. Just can I will pass the link to the restaurant. By the way, this is a fake restaurant. Please don't order anything on it because it's right. But yes, so this is basically what Wix can do, and like I said, Wix can do quite a lot. I'll have somebody. What was the other question, Sean?
From Chilling Tong, where did chat get the answers from your website or other places?
No, it does get so the chatbot will work off of your site specifically, but it will also work off of what you trained it to say. So this kosheri is basically based off of the general description of what kosheri is, but it also pulled in information from a description that I have on the menu page. So if I go to the menu page here and look up kushari, it looked at this description and it added some more information from what it understood, and it gave me a link to the menu page as well, which will come back here. So that's Wix. Now we're going to look at an option where you don't have Wix or your website is not through Wix and you want to add a chatbot to it. Now, this isn't no code. Now, everything you've seen now is very user friendly and it doesn't really need much user interaction. But when you don't have Wix, you want to look at other availability out there. Tidio is one of those options out there that provides a very easy to use and very customizable chatbot to your site. And once you create an account on Tidio, you get 7 days to try it out just to see how everything is going. And it basically just gives you, you can do pretty much everything. You can build your site through Tidio, but you can also create a freestanding chatbot for your site only. So it's not tied to a website that you create here. And what you do here is you go in, you create, you give it the knowledge, you give it the data source, which is basically I told it to go check out my Musri Eats. I told it that this is the company URL. This is this is the starting message. This is the chatting page URL, so I can try it out. And then once I've given it all its needs, it tells me take this script and put it inside your HTML code right before the body tag ends. And what it will do is it will pull and sync your entire website to the chatbot. And put the chatbot on your website. Now, of course, because I already had a chatbot on my site, I couldn't add a second one. But once this happens, it will activate your chatbot on the site, and then it will keep it turned off until you say you want it turned on. And then from here, you can start to test it, and you can tell it what is the purpose of Max Musri Eats. Now, unfortunately, again, I couldn't sync it to my website because the website was under Wix. But using Squarespace, using WordPress, any other site maker, as long as you can access the HTML code, you should be able to see that right away. So please forgive me if it doesn't give us the right answer here. It didn't really have much time to sync, and usually it takes about a little bit of time to go through it. And then once it does, it will respond. Again, it's very customizable. You can change how it looks. Like for here, I was changing the background to how it was. I can change the name. Here, hello, and it asks me for my introduction, Max, and I can just say hello@example.com. Sorry. And it will go for it, and this is just a small demo to see how it's going. Once that happens, and like I said, you sync it to your website, you have a chatbot on your website. Pretty easy to use. Now, of course, there are other options. If you have a little bit of development knowledge, you can go the coding option a little bit more. It's not exactly low code. It does require some user interaction and some developer knowledge. But something like chatbot.com also offers the same capability, but it does take a little bit more work from you. So at this point, you could find a developer part-time to help you with this, or you could learn a little bit about HTML or JavaScript and dive a little bit into this. It hopefully wouldn't be too much, but again, it's one of those options that's out there. And with that, you'll have added AI chat capability to your site. Hopefully this helps.
Thanks, Max. Any questions you have, just put those in the chat or in the Q&A. I know that was Wix specific, but it is really interesting to see how those bots actually learn. So that was a great question. Do they get the information from just the site, or are they getting it from other places? And I liked that you can put up controls as well if you don't want the bot to be answering specific questions. So that is always good to have. Guardrails are smart. Thank you so much. Question came in, is there any chatbot app in WordPress?
That's a good question. I'm not quite sure. I'd have to look it up, but we could definitely find out for you.
So there's a plugin called he mentioned it actually, Tidio or Tidio, Tidio. That's just one of them though.
Tidio actually does, it's a standalone pretty much, but it can be implemented into WordPress. It's the same concept. And like I mentioned before, it's Tidio can, once you take the link and put it into your HTML code, it'll bring over the chatbot to your website. So you can build it in Tidio and manage it in Tidio, but your website's always in WordPress. Any more questions?
I know, John, you've talked a lot just about Grok and how it works best, like in your opinion, right? Mac versus PC. If you want or are able to, can you show like a best use case for Grok, just so people can get an idea of if it's right for them?
I use it a lot for scientific and academic research. I don't know why. it just seems to, and again, this is personal preference. That's what I use it for. If I want to learn a new technology, it will not only summarize the cutting edge, but it'll also provide a bibliography. So I could then click. Most of those will lead to IEEE or some of the academic journals.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we did get another question in the chat. What happens if there's more than one site, like a product, a blog, a retail store? I think this is specific to the chatbot question.
So you would
Uh,
like to have one chatbot that searches multiple sites. Is that the question?
Ekta, if you can clarify in the chat. Yeah, all I have is just that. The question is worded that way. What happens if there's more than one site, dash product, blog, retail store?
I think with both Wix and Tidio, what I've seen is you can point a single chatbot to a single URL, but that URL would probably encompass the entire site. So it would look at your product catalog. It would look at, like in my case, it would look at the menu items. It would look at the ordering info, the reservations. One of the things I didn't show was also reservations. If I go to the chatbot and say I'd like to make a reservation, it'll point me to the reservations page. But it will look at everything on your site and do it. So if you have multiple sites, that might need you to go a little bit more into the development realm, because with these simple chatbots, because they're low code, no code, they're mainly focused on a single site, and they work off of a single site. So they could potentially, you could do that with a different, more code-based AI chatbot. Something like, I mean, Amazon Q, Zapier. There are other chatbots out there that will do that for you.
So another question that came in was, okay, it looks like Ekta clarified. And then another one was, can you tell us anything about Zapier?
I'm not very knowledgeable about Zapier. John, would you be able to jump in on this?
Yeah, so that's kind of like a machine to machine, if I recall correctly, a machine to machine solution that allows you to string different services together in a workflow fashion. So you might say, hey, take this data from Google Sheets and put it into Facebook, for example. They do have plugins with OpenAI. That's interesting because I don't know how that question relates, or how you're relating that question to AI. But yeah, Zapier is great if you're a little more technical and you want to move data around from different repositories, Dropbox, etc., on the internet. It's a good tool for that.
Another question came in. Can you show the slide again? That was the AI recommendations for the audience.
Absolutely.
So I can actually show that. I have it right here. So I think this is the one. So Copilot is down for the information industry breakdown. What does Copilot do?
So if you're a developer, I saw we had some consultants in the DC. I should have said I'm from Long Island, but I live in DC. I'm very interested in, I believe, Rita's toy shop because I have 3 kids and I also collect action figures. But Copilot, if you're a developer, that will help you write code. So for example, converting CSV to JSON in Python or to a Python dict. I don't remember how to do that. Something I have to do though 100 times as a data scientist. Copilot, that's your tool for that. If you're in information technology, let me see the others. So I think I mentioned, obviously Shopify. If you have a small business, Kensho for financial analytics. Clara for claims management, Zoho inventory for your toy shop. If you want to catalog your Star Wars toys, use Zoho. And then online stores, an alternative to Shopify, you can find Clevu. Great names, all of these. Any other ones that I miss? Margin Edge is actually a friend of mine. He joined the startup and they're doing, so I give the Bar Rescue example. I love that show. And he's always bringing this cool technology to identify waste and then recommend strategies to minimize weight and optimize your spend. That would be Margin Edge. I don't have too much experience with healthcare, but again, maybe try looking at one of the chatbots to see if they could recommend a solution for that.
And any questions that were asked today that we couldn't figure out, we'll do our homework too, and we will try to find those answers for you by the next session. I
Yeah.
also know we had a QR code around what do we want to discuss for next session. Let me see if I can go find that. Let's see. Right here. So if you guys can scan this, we want to know how can we tailor session 3 just for you? Because we know you guys are across many industries and we want to make this specific where you're really getting what you need out of this. So scan the code. If you have as well, Jihan, if you have the link for it for folks on their phone so they can just click it, if it can go in the Zoom chat, that will help as well. But we want to, again, we'll look at all of these answers and we will find what hits home the most and then prepare content around that for our 3rd and final session of this specific series. So some of that questions are, what do you want to learn in the next session? Is it writing better prompts? Is it creating flyers? Is it editing photos, creating audio, or surprise me? So those are kind of the pick list. If you can fill this quiz out, that helps us a lot. So again, we're curating it for you. Any last minute questions in the chat that I might be missing? Okay, looks like Jihan has the link there too. So if you're on your phone, no excuses, make sure you fill out that pick list. And then we are planning to see you again next week for that 3rd and final session. John, any parting words?
No, thanks again. I'm gonna check out Child's Play toys in my neighborhood. So I learned something today.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all for joining us. Don't forget that we have applications open now for the Walmart Road to Open call. Share that information with your friends and your family, anyone who has a packaged good that is ready to go on the shelves and to become a supplier. That would be a great opportunity for them. Learn more at nationalace.org. Applications are accepted on a rolling basis until March 14th, and we hope to see you next week. Thank you, everyone.